Hello, everyone. I'm Mark,
And I'm Rob.
and welcome to Mark and Rob's Sports Showdown, one of the hottest and best sports talk shows on YouTube.
Mhm.
Guess what, Rob? We still need more subscribers. You can
Yeah, we
never have
do.
enough. Hit that notification bell when you do, please. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to make intelligent, non insulting comments, feel free to do so. I'll do my best to respond, but we're growing so fast. We became so popular, it's really hard for me to respond to everyone. So I apologize if I don't. Rob, we have a live show Eastern time, 7 to 8, except for major holidays. So please join us for that. Rob, we have a situation here where we have a player that should be on the Olympic team and is not. And I want to talk about that again because I have a scenario and I want to give to you and let me know what you think.
Okay.
Let's pretend that Caitlin Clark is black and a lesbian and then either went to the University of Connecticut or South Carolina. And you can even pretend she won a championship. Would she be on the Olympic team?
Most definitely, Mark. There would be no doubt. There wouldn't be any hesitation
Say whatever you
because
want.
of the way, because of the way it's being, Caitlin Clark's being treated now. It just seems like it's just blatant racism or prejudice against one player. And it's not the first time it's happened before. This has happened before, so.
And I'm going to agree with that, Rob, because you can tell by the lame excuses, and that's why I think this is true. So let's analyze this. Let's analyze the people on the committee, and I don't care about skin color, and I don't even like to talk about race, and I don't even like to notice someone's skin color. That's why we have more Martians on this channel than
That's right.
anyone in the universe, because we don't care if they have green skin or not.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I really don't. And I don't care about sexuality, all for gay marriage, all that stuff. I don't care. I don't care what your sexuality is. But at the same time, when they're using that as they're a minority, but now they're the majority, and they're using that
Right.
to complain about how people marginalize them, and then they marginalize a player who's not. And if you don't believe me, just go listen to the Candace Wiggins interview. And I think most of our listeners know that by now because the Clark fans all know about that.
That's
And go
exactly
listen to
right, Mark.
what they did to her and how she says it happens to a lot of other straight uh, women that went into the league.
It's exactly
Uh,
right, Mark. How it's amazing how they turn it around as being a victim and how they're being persecuted, but then they eventually they turn it back around and they persecute the other people who are not like them.
well,
So it's kind of like like a double standard there.
well, they want diversity, except when it comes to diversity on the when it goes the other way,
Right.
because there's fewer. There's only 19% white women in the league, and we don't know what it is for how it is for lesbians or straights because Candace Wiggins says 98%. They say there's only 33 that have come out, 33%. We know it's higher than 33%.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what it is between that. I don't really care. I just think it's more than 50%. And I think that puts the straight women, if they give them a hard time about it, at a disadvantage in the league. And I think that, if Caitlin Clark was black, the people on the committee were almost all black and lesbians.
Right.
The woman, the head of the committee, was from the University of Connecticut, and Dawn Staley went to is the head coach at South Carolina, as you know. So, anytime in the history that they added a player, two of them were from University of Connecticut, straight out. They just put them in. They didn't have to prove themselves in the NBA. They just put them in because they were player of the years and they won championships on stacked teams, by the way. Brianna Stewart played with 12 WNBA players in her career, in her 4-year career, and Diana Taurasi played with 10. Caitlin Clark played with 1, and she's not even a superstar. She made in WNBA, and she's not even a starter. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there is a big difference there in terms of why Caitlin Clark might not have won a championship, and I'm not going to cover that in that video. I just want to point it out. And also Candace Parker, she deserved to be on the team, obviously, because she was MVP. That she turned out to be MVP, but she was placed before the WNBA season also, and she went to a glamorous college also at Tennessee. So Iowa is not a glamorous college, and they didn't win a championship. Candace Parker, by the way, did win a championship. She won 2. So I think that's a factor in it, Rob.
Oh yeah, those factors are, you definitely mentioned. Those are all the factors why she excuse me is not probably on the team.
Right.
Definitely,
And there's several things you can argue. First of all, Diana Taurasi's on the team, and we all know that she's not one of the top 12 players in the league. And I'm going to go over this again. She hasn't made the All-Pro team in 4 years. So, like I said, I have no problem with her being on the Olympic team. That was only 1 year removed from the All-Pro team. But now her numbers aren't as good as Clark's. She hasn't been an All-Pro team. She's never made an all-defensive team. She's a liability on defense from what regular WNBA watchers tell me. So she obviously doesn't belong in the team talent-wise. So for them to say, well, we chose it on the best 12 players, they didn't.
Oh,
So stop it.
No.
And Caitlin Clark's numbers are as good as some of the other women on the team. You can argue about whether they're better. They may be better. But I don't want to pick on them because it's an easy solution. Dinah Taurasi doesn't belong on the team. But she went to the University of Connecticut, and the woman at the head of the committee is an ex-University of Connecticut player, and she was actually Player of the Year.
Yeah, you make the call on that. Yeah, I mean,
right.
It just seems like if you're not from a major college or like big college like with like LSU, Connecticut, Tennessee, or even South Carolina, then if you're an outside figure from another college, that's like a factor. Like, okay, we can't. You're not part of the team here. You're not part of the role here.
Right, and then you could say to me, well, let's play devil's advocate here, Mark. Well, what about Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu? They're white and they're straight and they're on the team. Well, they can't keep everybody off the team of the top 12 players. Those players earned it because they didn't, before they didn't get on the team before. So they're in their prime. You're going to keep them off now. Then right. People would the outrage would be so great. It would be ridiculous. There'd be so much pressure from NBC, and it was like they wouldn't be able to handle it. So they can't keep all the white straight players off the team, especially when there's several of them in the top. Made all pro. They made all pro last year. They both made all pro last year. What are you going to do? You keep them off the team? No, they can't. They can't keep everybody off the team. I'm just saying your chances are better if you're black and you're lesbian on the team because of the committee and the history. Or if you went to South Carolina or University of Connecticut, your chances are better. That's clear.
Yeah, and then if you want to debate that or want to just look it up or want to tell us about that in the comments, please. I want to hear to see what you think about that because. So to us, it seems like that seems to be the requirement in order to be on the team.
And let's go to their next argument. Well, she doesn't have experience. Okay, first of all, she does have international experience. She's been on 3 teams that have won gold medal, and she was the MVP or the leading scorer on at least one of them that I know of. So she does have international experience. And their other argument is that the international game is rougher than the WNBA, but people who watch European women's basketball tell me that's completely not true, that the WNBA is the roughest and most physical women's league in the world. In addition, I've watched the Olympics, every Olympics since 1968, at least every women's game since 1984 when Cheryl Miller played. And I can tell you that the international basketball game when I watch in the Olympics is not as rough or as physical as the WNBA. So they're lying to you. ESPN and those bobbleheads and other people that are making quotes, the people that in the committee in the league and everybody else, they're lying to you from what I can tell. Go ahead, Rob.
Totally. No, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, international ball is quite different. You don't see any kind of cheap shots. I've never seen. I've watched those games also international, not just Olympics, but other international games. I've never seen a player do a cheap shot on another player like that. And then wasn't called because their rules are a lot more stricter. That person would probably not be able to play, to be out of the game, and then probably wouldn't be allowed to play the next game. So international rules probably are a lot more stricter, and they follow through, unlike the WNBA doesn't.
Right. Well, give me a scenario in the Olympics where you watched what Alyssa Thomas did to Angel Reese, where she pulled her down by the neck. I never saw that in an Olympic game. Go tell me where there was a game where someone like Asia Wilson got hit in the face 3 times in one game. I never saw that in an Olympic game. So stop it with it's more physical and she doesn't have the experience for that. Because it's just another lie that they're using as an excuse. And I'm tired of them not telling the truth because we know what the truth is. We know why she's kept off the team because Christine Brennan found out from 2 sources the real reason she's kept off the team is they were afraid she was going to get all the publicity. And then when she didn't get a lot of playing time, the fans would be upset. That's a real reason. But the real reason is that she gets too much publicity. They want the publicity on them. Go ahead, Rob.
So they're not. So they say they're about winning, but they're not really about winning because if you put her on a team, it would help her for experience. But also, once she's on the team and she's playing with the other players, they would see how good she is and probably accept her even more. Right now, they really don't accept her because there's such a bunch of jealous women.
Well, Rob, she's the second best point guard in the league. So why wouldn't you have her on the team? You have 12 people on the team, which means you have at least 2 point guards. And Chelsea Gray's coming back from an injury. Yes, she's the best point guard in the league, and she has fewer turnovers than Clark, and that's why she's better. But guess what? You don't know if she's going to re-injure herself. She just came back a couple games ago. She might get injured, a different injury. And then what? You're missing out the second best point guard in the league. Sure. And she's the best passer in the league. And she's the best passer, women passer I've ever seen. And she would be great for a team with a bunch of scorers. you know, that'd be a perfect fit. And she can hit the three, which is important in international basketball because it's only a 40-minute game, unlike the NBA. And also it's single elimination tournament. So if the other team gets hot with 3 points and you're not, the 3-point shot becomes more and more important in a single elimination tournament. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Mark, if she was on the team, would they shun her? Would they actually just ignore her, or just be that catty and not even respond?
I don't know, Rob. I can't read into these women's mind. Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Askew wouldn't, but I can't speak up for the rest of the team. But those are the excuses that they're due. And I think they're saying the best fit for the team. Well, maybe she's not the best fit because they'd be jealous of her, but I think it fit talent-wise. She's actually a great fit, and she's a much better fit than Diana Taurasi, who's only averaging like less than 2 assists a game the last I checked. She was averaging 1.1. When Caitlin Clark got chosen for the team, Diana Taurasi was averaging 1.1 assists a game. So don't go tell me, well, they stick her in there because she can. I heard this on ESPN. It drives me crazy. I think it was Andrea Carter says, but Diana Taurasi, she knows how to find Brittany Griner in the post. I go, yeah, what 1.1 assists? She's not finding anybody. So stop it.
Mark, you can find Brittany Griner in the post.
I know how hard it is to shoot to a 6'7" woman who's taller than everybody else that's guarding her. You just throw it up in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I don't know what to say about that. But I want to point out that those are a lot of reasons. And Clark is playing better every game. And she had and I'm not going to get into that in this video, but we all know the obstacles that they were up against, that her numbers would have been greater than if they weren't up against all those obstacles. I won't go into the details on them, but I'll at least mention the really hard schedule, the new teammates, the clueless coach, the overly physical play and the double team and triple team that she got more attention than probably anyone in history. So you have to take all that into consideration in terms of you're trying to.
So that point you just made, Mark, do you think that's part of the reason, like conspiracy, why they finally because she was getting double team and triple team and not really getting to her full potential. But then finally, once she was off the team, now it's like, oh, okay. It's okay.
I saw that in a comment of ours. And this is, I don't have the person's name, but congratulations for making that nice comment. Their theory was that they would have done it anyways, but the excessiveness of the double teaming and triple teaming that they did in Clayton Clark was all a conspiracy to hold her numbers back and her level of play down, to say, hey, she's not that good, until they announced the Olympic team. And as soon as they announced the Olympic team, the amount of double teams and triple teams have gone down. So, and the person said in the comments said, Rebecca Lobo told them to call the dogs off. And it was okay. But she's still getting double team and triple team more than anyone else, but it's gone down since then. The calls with the refs have been unfavorable towards her, and they've been more balanced since she didn't make the Olympic team.
Right.
So tell me if I'm not a conspiracy person. I swear to God, I'm really not. But this isn't even conspiracy. This is like gang warfare against one person. And I want to, another thing, Rob, I'm really disappointed in two things about the media. Not the social media. They're not afraid to say it because they don't have to answer to somebody up top. Right. But the social media, the major networks and stuff like that, and some of the major YouTubers are afraid to say when the theory comes up, okay, well, they chose the 12 best players, and they're afraid to say Diana Taurasi is not one of the 12 best players. They say, well, you can argue that's not a good theory because of Diana Taurasi. They're afraid to just come out and say Diana Taurasi is not one of the 12 best players. It's clear she's not one of the 12 best players, and she's not even in the top 30 in the All-Star voting. Okay, but I've already gone over that. And so why are they afraid to say that? Why are they afraid to say such an obvious thing? And legacy is a bad reason for keeping someone on the team. When
Yeah.
all the other times in the past, they have put on young players to develop them. We have a situation where everybody's 26 and over on the team. So 4 years from now, 4 years, add that, that's 30. Athletes hit their peak, team athletes hit their peak around 26 to 30. So everybody on the team just about is no longer going to be on their peak, and none of them had experience in the next Olympics. Tell me how much sense that makes, and tell me how they've ever done that in the past in men's or women's Olympic basketball. Never have they done that.
And they're supposed to be lies. And these so-called people are supposed to be the way they present themselves as being controversial, but they're afraid to say something about it. What's the problem? If you're so hyped up, about the team, about certain things, but yet on this subject, you're kind of mum, and you're kind of like, well, she should get her 6. She should get her 6 goals. No, she shouldn't. She shouldn't. Why? That's the reason why she should be on the team, because she deserves it. No, she does not deserve it. Why does she deserve it?
God, that's a terrible reason. It's a better reason to keep her off, because she's already got 5.
Yeah, you got 5.
I mean, that's totally illogical. This is driving me crazy, this concept about that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really disappointed in 2 people. And I like Michael Wilbon, and I've mentioned the show, Pardon the Interruption. That's the only good thing about ESPN right now is Pardon the Interruption. And that's because Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser are pretty level-headed and smart guys and good, and they have a nice perspective on race. I think Michael Wilbon goes a little too far from the black perspective, but that's because I'm white, and maybe I'm completely wrong. But either way, he's reasonable about it. And Tony Kornheiser is also reasonable. He's not overly woke, but he's not a racist in any way. And I don't think he'd be friends with Wilbon if he did. But Michael Wilbon, Tony Kornheiser said that Caitlin Clark should be on the team. And he's right. He said business perspective also, that she's a good player. And just for background, Michael Wilbon knew about Caitlin Clark before Tony Kornheiser, and he told him to start watching her, and he did. He thinks she's great. So Michael Wilbon is not anti-Caitlin Clark because he thinks he's great. But for some reason, his perspective, in my opinion, is skewed on this one and is wrong. And he said that he didn't think she should belong on the team because he's basically making the argument they're only sticking her on the team because she's popular. And I don't have to counter that because I just countered it for the last 15 minutes. Right, exactly. That's not the only reason to stick her on the team. So, he never gave a good reason, and he never addressed the fact that Dana Taurasi's on the team, and she easily could be taken off and had Caitlin Clark on the team. So he never addressed that because why? It's not in his agenda to make that argument. Go ahead, Rob.
If not even Caitlin Clark, some other players are just as good or better than Taurasi. There's more players better than her. So sticking around the team. So when he said that popular, okay, well then why is Taurasi on the team? She's not popular. She's a horrible human being. Even though people don't like her in the league. So what was that as far as popular saying that she shouldn't be on the team? Then Taurasi's more popular?
Right. Well, he didn't even address that issue. That's what I'm saying. Why are they afraid to say that? Now, let's go to Dan Patrick. And other than Bob Costas, Dan Patrick is, to me, one of the best sportscasters of all time. And he's got a golden voice. He's level-headed. He's smart. There's nothing negative to say about Dan Patrick. He's freaking awesome. But Dan Patrick has addressed this a couple times on his podcast because I listen to him and I like him so much. And I'm envious of how his voice drives me crazy, how charming it is and how much of a great broadcasting voice is. But
very smooth.
He addresses this. He says, and this is his argument. Well, do I think she's one of the top 12 players in the league? No. Okay, let me get to that concept right now. And I've said this before. I can't tell how to rank Caitlin Clark in the WNBA right now because of all the obstacles we just went over. I have no idea. I don't think she's in the top 4, but she's somewhere between 5th and 15th, which to me is close enough, first of all. Yeah. And second of all, I have no idea where to put her because of the fact that she did not get the same amount of attention defensively and all the other things we went over against. Another broadcaster said she's the best player in the league. And he says, we don't know how good AJ Wilson is because she doesn't get double teams and triple teams all the time. That's a good point. Imagine how would we rank them? How about if Dana Taurasi got double teams and triple teams for the first 10 games this seson? Let's see what her numbers were. And it would be embarrassingly low. She's 42 years old.
Didn't get the calls. Or didn't get the referee calls. Or got called for little touch fouls or anything like that. Let's see how.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rob. That was one of the other things that she's been up against, where that the refs has been unfavorable towards her, which can knock your game off mentally.
Oh
And
yeah.
and also sometimes like missing 2 kickballs, those are turnovers, but they're not really turnovers. And calls when you get hit and you don't make the call, and you get, I'm sorry, when you get hit and a foul's not called, there goes your shooting percentage. You would have made that shot, and things of that nature. All the numbers would be better if you did that.
Right.
So Dan Patrick said that, and then he says, and then he doesn't address the Diana Taurasi thing again. He doesn't address something that needs to be addressed, because if their argument is they're choosing the 12 best players because that's what they keep saying on ESPN. Their goal is to win. Their goal is to win. Their goal is to win. No, stop it.
No,
Their goal isn't their win. Their goal is to get Diana Taurasi a 6th gold medal. It's so obvious what they're doing, and because she's at UConn, Connecticut.
And when they bring it up to her name, why are they only bringing up her name? They're not bringing up the other 11 players. They're bringing up her name specifically. So there it is right there.
But Dan Patrick skirts over that too when he talks about Diana Taurasi. Well, she got experience, legacy. Oh, that's all this experience stuff. Again, that's experience stuff is crazy, because you can see by the numbers, by their ages, and the fact that 7 of them were on the Olympic team before, and I guess 2 were on the 3x3 team or whatever. They all have a lot of experience. They don't need Diana Taurasi's experience and leadership. People don't even like her, so it's not even a good leader. People don't. I'm telling you, half those players I bet you don't like. Maybe all of them don't like her. She's a bully. She's mean. She got a big ego. So I don't even think those players really like her. She just has stature because she's the oldest. So to say that they need her leadership or experience, they don't. They got plenty of that. You don't think Breanna Stewart and AJ Wilson, the 2 best players on that team, can't give them leadership, or whoever you want to say is the 2 best players? Of course they can. For Christ's sake, Breanna Stewart's got two titles and 4 championships. She's a leader. AJ Wilson won a national title, and she also has 2 championships in WNBA.
Yeah,
so one last thing that Dan Patrick said, Rob, he said, well, they just want her to earn it. Okay, again, that now he knows that's a stupid argument, and he says it anyways because he knows the past history of the WNBA, because he's a really smart, knowledgeable guy. He knows that Breanna Stewart and he knows that Diana Taurasi and Candace Parker did not earn it in the WNBA. They did not. They got placed because they won championships and they went to major colleges, glamour colleges, and they got placed because of how they played in college. And Cindy Knowles was on it too. So
they equated to what with Christian Laettner. Did he earn it? He didn't earn it. He was on the Olympic team, the Dream Team. Did he earn it? So I mean, that's a dumb argument to say that. Did she earn it? What do you mean by did she earn it? I don't understand what you mean by that.
And Michael Wilbon and Dan Patrick, neither one of them addressed the issue of the major obstacles that she's had since she's got into league that kept her numbers down and her play down. And again, and also, they had she's probably tired. She's tired mentally and physically from all the pressure that she's been on. And also they had no break between college and pro. She went into that. I didn't even mention those factors, but we all know what they are. We all know that that's going to keep your numbers and your play down a little bit. And the fact that she gelled with one player really well, Temi, and she got injured, and the coach wanted to just throw it into Boston, would not put the ball in her hands. I mean, I could go on and on. And
Mark, you just mentioned that. You just mentioned one of the other factor. People are saying, well, maybe she needs to rest. That's okay. She needs to rest. What does she mean she needs to rest? She's going to be on the Olympic team. Why don't you ask her? I don't think she's tired. It doesn't look like she's tired to me, except for those when they put her that a horrible schedule at the beginning of the year.
Right.
But I mean, the factor that that you just said she played out of college and she jumped into the league. People are saying, "Oh well, well she deserves a rest and maybe she can work on her game." No, she deserves to be on the team. And I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it if she's not on there.
I am not watching one women's 5x5 game if she's not on it. Never. And that's be the first time ever that I've done that. And I don't care when it's on. And I'm not. And, what's bizarre is 4 years from now, she's probably going to be the best player in the league, in my opinion. And now she's going to have no experience. 4 years from now, think about 4 years from now, she's going to be hitting her peak. She's going to be 26 years old. That's when a player hits their peak, 26 to 30. And guess what? No experience. And no one else on the age of 30 is going to have experience either. So don't you worry about the future. They've always done that. And that's why it's bizarre. And that's why I know they're lying and that there's a conspiracy and there's other reasons that they're not telling you on why she's not on the team. And we all know what it is. She's going to get too much publicity and they're going to cry about it. But guess what? The whole team will get more publicity if she's on the team. More people will watch. More people will notice how good AJ Wilson is and how good Brianna Stewart is. They'll all notice how much better players are than they realize because they don't watch the WNBA a lot. They're just Caitlin Clark fans. So they'll get more publicity and they'll notice how good these other players are, which is what they've been asking for 27 years.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
Exactly.
Stop it.
Exactly.
That's my rant for today. I'm sorry. You got me riled up, Rob. It's your fault.
No, it's good. No, it's good. I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, so it's the future. So then you're gonna have what? You have, I guess, Dan Taurasi and the wheelchair out there, wheel her out there next 4 years.
I don't know, Rob. They stuck LeBron James on the Olympic team because he's still one of the top 12 U.S. players.
Yeah, he can still play.
And the team. He's actually still one of the top 12 players in the league. But if he's 43 years old, 4 years from now, he's 39. They're not going to stick him on the team.
No.
And they shouldn't either. Even if he wants to be on it, they shouldn't stick him on the team. And he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't ask to be on the team. But does Diana Taurasi does? Oh, yeah. Give me a 6 gold medal. It's selfish. She's just so selfish. I can't wait till June 30th. June 30th is when the Phoenix play the Indiana Fever.
That's next, Mark. That's next Saturday.
Okay. Now, if you're from
Should we do a countdown? Should we do a countdown every video? Countdown T minus 7 days and counting.
How many days is that? What's the date today, Rob?
Today's 23rd. 7 days, T minus 7 days and counting.
We should have started a 10-day countdown. I'm sorry. I'll start a 5-day countdown.
There you go.
We're going to start it right now. It's a 7-day countdown.
Yeah, 7-day countdown.
My goal is they play 3 times this year. And my goal is for one of those games to Clark get hot and get 54 points, which would be a WNBA record, and 10 threes, which would be a WNBA record. And do it on Diana Taurasi. See her sitting on the bench like a washed up boxer. That's what I want to see. I know that seems rude if you're a Diana Taurasi fan. I don't think Diana Taurasi fans watch our channel, Rob, because
no, I don't believe so.
We pick
from the comments I've seen. From the comments I've seen in our about her, and I don't see anybody on her side so far.
And like I don't like Andrew Reese's personality, but I'm telling you right now that Rob and I started this channel because we're tired of sports fans who aren't objective. And I'm going to be objective about their abilities. I just don't like their personalities. I'm going to really do my hardest to do that. I honestly, God, that's what I try to do every time.
Mark is helping me with that, which I really appreciate. So it makes my eyes open up a little wider. I'm like, yeah, gotta be objective. Don't be, it's okay to be a fan. Like I'm a Knicks fan, whatever, but then also be objective about things, about the aspect of the game.
Thanks. All right, so obviously I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan. I'm not saying I'm always perfect in my objectivity, but I try. And I'm trying in this particular case to be objective. But the facts are just staring right in my face.
Yeah, right in your face. It's right in your face. Right in your face, Mark.
Now you see me right here. You're staring right in my face. It's the granny versus the rook. Granny versus the future GOAT. That's what it really is on June 30th. And I'm dying for that game. Right.
Oh,
7 more. I can't even sleep the next week.
He might even go out. Someone suggested Mark should buy some fever gear. He's not into that, but he's getting fired up. He might just get a hat or maybe just a little.
Yeah. And if you're if you're new to this channel, don't worry. If you're new to this channel, we criticize Caitlin Clark all the time. So I'm saying you can see we're objective about it. That doesn't mean we're not fans. And so let me know if you think I'm out of line down below, or if you agree with me.
All right.
I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions, Rob. That's all I'm doing. I'm asking questions about this Olympic snub, which I hope still happens. I hope NBC puts a lot of pressure on them and say, we're not going to televise this on primetime unless Caitlin Clark's on the team because we're losing. Mm-hmm. I heard they lost 60 million endorsements already. I don't even know if it's true, but
that's fine,
if you're in, let's say you're Coca-Cola and you were thinking of advertising on the Olympics on the night that the women's basketball team plays. Are you going to advertise on that? Are you willing to pay the same rate than you were paying that Caitlin Clark was paying?
No
way. There's no way they're not losing money. It's
right.
Zero chance. Everybody knows in advance when those games are. They know in advance whether Caitlin Clark's on the team, and they set rates based upon the views. Mm-hmm. And so, Coke's going to say, hey, if Caitlin Clark was in the team, they'd probably negotiate this. We'll pay $1.5 billion for a second. instead of $1 billion, whatever, half a billion.
Right.
Whatever. They're definitely losing money. And so, and they're all losing money because a bunch of petty women have this big thing against Caitlin Clark because she gets too much attention. That's all this is about.
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. All right.
All right. I don't usually rant like this, but it's Rob's fault. He got me riled up.
Yeah, blame the black guy. Yeah, it's all the black guy's fault.
Well, you're always trying to keep the white man down. So this one time I want to have the white man.
This is one time you blame the black guy. Okay, I'll give you that one.
All right, that's our take for today. And hey, you don't want a boring channel, do you? Nah. You want some excitement. All right.
Showdown. This showdown.
Let us know what you think. Seriously, I really want to hear your opinion on this, and I'll try to respond to the comments on this one for sure. And definitely. We don't usually have this long of videos, but like I said, it's Rob's fault. So we got a live show Eastern time, 7-8. You can call and debate this with me then. And Rob can't make it this Monday, but or the following Monday, Rob will be back. Or you can call in and make suggestions and stuff like that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that notification bell and subscribe because we need more.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
And if you're from Mars, double subscribe, okay? Because we're into that. And hit the like button if you like this video. And we're going to see you in the next video.
All right. Peace out.